Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is gonna be a little different. No tips, no vlogs, no challenges, just a true story. And it's one I've never really told in full before. This happened when I was just a little kid, maybe 4 or 5 years old. It's one of those memories that stayed with me all my life, like a scene frozen in time, because of how real and honestly how scary it was. So grab a snack, turn the lights down if you're brave enough, and let me take you back. It was summer. The kind of summer where the air just hangs around you. Warm nights, the hum of insects, the faint sound of cars in the distance. At that time, my parents had just separated, and I was living part-time with my mom in her new apartment. She had this small, cozy 2-bedroom place on the first floor of a quiet apartment complex. My room was right across from hers, just a few steps across a narrow hallway. But even though I had my own room, I always preferred to sleep in her bed. I think it gave me comfort. You know, being that young, dealing with the changes of separation, new home, a new environment, her bed just felt safe. Now here's how our setup looked. The headboard of her bed was pushed up against the wall under a window that she liked to leave open during the summer, just to let the air in at night. The window was screened, and since we were on the first floor, it wasn't that high up, maybe 3 feet from the ground outside. Now keep in mind, we had a cat. Our cat was like our little shadow, always cuddled up on the bed with us, every single night without fail. But that night was different. I remember waking up suddenly. You know that weird feeling when you're not really sure why you're awake? It wasn't a sound or anything, just this uneasy feeling, a kind of stillness in the air that didn't feel right. I sat up in bed, rubbing my eyes, trying to figure out what time it was. The room was dark, but the hallway light was off, and I could kind of see the soft moonlight through the window. And that's when I saw our cat. He was just sitting in the doorway, not moving, not blinking, just staring. It struck me as strange because, like I said, he always slept in bed with us. Why was he sitting in the hallway? And more importantly, what was he looking at? I stared at him for a moment. He tilted his head, let out a soft meow, and then slowly got up and walked across the hallway into my bedroom. Now here's where everything just starts getting really weird. I turned to wake my mom up. I whispered, "Mom, something's wrong with the cat." She stirred a bit, mumbled something like, "What?" I nudged her again, and she finally sat up. This whole interaction, from me seeing the cat to her sitting up, couldn't have been more than 3 or 4 seconds. And in those few seconds, we both looked up, toward the hallway. And there, right there, standing exactly where the cat had been just moments earlier, was a man. A full-grown man, standing right in the doorway. His body was turned as if he was just leaving my room, my bedroom, and stepping into the hallway. I remember my mom gasping. She didn't scream. She didn't ask questions. She didn't hesitate. She grabbed me like some kind of superhero, picked me up in one motion, turned toward the window above the headboard, and threw me out. Now let me be clear, we were on the first floor, so it wasn't some crazy fall. It was maybe 3 feet to the ground, but still, she literally launched me out of the window like her life depended on it. And it did. She climbed out right behind me, and we both started screaming for help, screaming into the night. I was barefoot, confused, and shaking. A neighbor down the street turned on their porch light. Another one came running out in pajamas. Within minutes, someone had called 911. The police came pretty fast. It felt like hours, but it was probably 10 minutes. They searched the apartment. They didn't find him. The back door had been unlocked. That's probably how he got in. There were no broken windows, no forced entry. He had just walked in. And the creepiest part? They said he must have been watching for a while. They found a few footprints by my bedroom window, a few smudges on the screen, and the officer told my mom something that chilled us both. He was likely planning to take something, or someone, and the only thing that stopped him from doing more was that we woke up. I still think about that night. Not just because it was scary, but because of how fast my mom reacted. She didn't panic, she didn't freeze, she just acted to protect me. I've asked her about it since, and she always says the same thing. I wasn't thinking. I just knew I had to get you out. I don't even know what would have happened if I hadn't woken up. If the cat hadn't walked into my room, if we hadn't looked up right then. It's crazy how close you can come to danger without realizing it until the very last second. And yeah, we never stayed another night in that apartment. We packed up the next day and stayed with a family friend until we found somewhere new. So what do I take from all this? Always trust your gut. Always listen to those little weird feelings, even when they don't make sense. And always lock your doors and windows. Check them twice, triple check. Because sometimes safety doesn't come from being lucky. It comes from being prepared. And sometimes it comes from a little cat warning you at the right moment. So, to our cat, wherever he is now, thank you. And to my mom, you were a superhero that night. Thanks for sticking with me through this story. If you've ever experienced something creepy or unexplainable like this, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story too. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you want more Storytime videos like this. Stay safe out there and hug your loved ones tight. Till next time, peace.